tricky. Want to buy or sell a house, finance or insure a house, or stuck with a house and don't know what to do? Florida Talk Real Estate has been your local one-stop real estate shop since 2012. Get the advice you need from your local real estate pros. Here are your hosts, Jim DePola and Johnny C. live on Real Radio.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome to another edition, Florida Talk Real Estate. We got you for the next 2 hours of infotainment. Thank you very much for being with us on a Saturday morning. 92.1, 101.7, tuning in on the old terrestrial radio. Thank you. Thank you for making that choice today. Maybe, just maybe, you're using the free download, the iHeartRadio app. We're worldwide at that point. You might be in like Ireland, just for instance. And that's amazing if you are. Thank you very much. And of course, they're in here early setting up cameras. Jimmy D. Why? Because we go live stream on a Saturday as well. 2 choices. And in life is about choices. Just choose wisely. Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. There's a live stream happening right now. If you're there, thank you very much. On YouTube, Florida Talk Real Estate LLC. That's home of a ton of informational chunk videos. And a live stream on a Saturday. If you're there out the gates, thank you very much. You can join in at any time and, of course, go back and revisit. And you're always welcome to be a part of the program. 877-927-6969. If you have questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate, if you'd like to be involved in the conversation and dial in, the first voice you'll hear, the melodious tones of our producer extraordinaire. There's Jimothy, my brother from another mother. What's up, dude?
Hello, and good morning, gentlemen. How we doing today?
All right, my man. Nice to see you as always.
Good to see you as well.
I'm in sunglasses right now because my other glasses are in the car. So if you're like, Johnny's under the weather, no.
Oh, those are prescriptions.
They are prescription.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. But I look like that cool guy on the Saturday morning, inside wearing glasses. Yeah. Good to see you as always, man.
Good to see you too, bud.
Johnny C, that's me, your old buddy, your old pal, air traffic control. Let's get the very important people on a Saturday. Like Mike Rao, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. Hello, my friend.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
You could write, I think, actually an original song about that.
Wearing sunglasses?
During the day, but inside.
Inside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wear
sunglasses.
That was Corey.
No, but that's at night, Jim. We're talking,
This is
inside. This is a novel.
Inside.
It's a novel.
We're original.
During the day.
Inside.
Because I can.
Yeah, because I can.
Is it because I can? Because so I can.
So I can? We'll come up with this
because
on
I
the fly.
can.
We'll come up with it on the fly, Mike, because
like
we're
that.
just smart.
I mean, isn't that how all real music is generated?
Stolen? I don't know. Ask Led Zeppelin. Oh,
yeah. It's all built.
They stole their whole catalog.
Some sort of foundation.
What's that?
It's all built on some sort of foundation.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
There's only so many chord progressions, only so many chords. There's only so much melody.
Well, there's different styles of there's the
That's right.
Eastern music.
You can
different chords and progressions.
Throw a different flow in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to see you, my friend.
Yes, you too. Well, I can't. I think are you looking at me?
I'm not.
No. Okay.
Yeah, that's my favorite part. You have no idea. Thank you for joining in, cool guy. Ross Komarinetz with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. It's a bright way, isn't it, my man?
It is. It is very bright in here.
It's good to see you as well. Man, that makes me feel better. Thank you very much.
I might go to my car.
I might not go get my glasses now. Good to have you back in studio.
Good beer. It's been a couple weeks.
It feels like it has, yeah. It's always nice to get back into the flow, I suppose.
Yeah.
Hopefully you've enjoyed a couple Saturdays.
Yeah, I've been wearing my sunglasses.
So you're just keeping the trend alive?
Yeah.
It is Florida, right? The Sunshine State. We got one more very important person to introduce. Of course, our fearless leader, 14 plus years now. I've told you he runs a top producing Keller Williams team. We met his boss last week. I think things are going to work out too.
That's right.
Yeah. That dude might become my best friend. If I just get his
You guys really hit it off.
Well, he's a Cowboy fan and he loves going to concerts. He went to the 9 Inch Nails show. Like, this might be my dude.
If you guys were speed dating, it would have been a match.
It would have, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, he's like, Texas Tech. You're a Red Raider? You're a Cowboys fan? I am. Wow. When you say music enthusiast, you go to a lot of shows? I do.
Yeah.
You going to Rockville? No, but I want to. I'm like, are we becoming best friends? Jimmy D's right here. That's Jim DePola. How you be, Jimmy D?
Hey, good, Johnny. You already told us about the glasses. If you didn't say anything about them, I thought maybe you were hungover today.
See, that's what I think a lot of people think. I think that's the
hungover
instant
Johnny.
glasses in the morning inside. Are you hungover? No, I'm not.
I'm having glassing problems today. I have one of those Meta AI glasses, not the crazy one with the little screen in the lens, but it
There's
could do
ones
other
with
stuff.
screens in the lens now.
Oh yeah, you can Google on your glasses now.
I thought it all just told you.
Really?
No.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so the kind I have only like
They
if
just
you
say Meta on the
if
side.
you if you stare at something, it'll tell you what you're looking at. So like if you're looking at a tree or a plant or something, it's like, what kind of plant is that? It will tell you. It will translate for you. So if you're in a busy place and everybody's talking a different language, it will translate what everybody's saying in real time to you. It'll do that
in
stuff.
apocalyptic times, you can be walking around in the Everglades and be like, is that edible? And they'll be like, yes, Jim, you can eat that.
Well, in the apocalyptic times, you still have to have Wi-Fi.
Oh, true. This is true.
do they connect to Starlink?
I don't know. I would assume so.
Without
I
a
would assume
router?
that you could. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna need a
So-
built-in router.
You're going to need that.
So,
It'll probably be in our brain before we know it.
Oh,
yes, I use them
Come
all.
on,
I
Elon.
use them all the time. I love it. You know, I love having them. They're Ray-Bans, and they're just like Ray-Bans, right? So
I have definitely I've been pushed in that direction when I get my glasses. You know, you go every year and get your new prescription. They're like, have you seen these? I was like, I don't. Please don't. I'll end up buying them, and I don't need that stuff.
well, they're expensive.
They
They
are.
are expensive. Yeah. Now, if you do the lens kind, where on the lens now, they rated them the best AI glasses ever. Right now, and on the right lens, you could actually like Google stuff, and it'll come up like a screen, and you can see the screen in front of you. Remember when you used to? Have you ever
So
driven in a
it
car?
like projects it kind of further out for you,
Yes.
like you're looking on a windshield. The up,
Yeah, that's what I was
heads
gonna
up
say.
projection.
Yeah, like my father used to have a Cadillac, a type of Cadillac, and the speedometer was actually in the windshield where it would be projected out.
Ours has it too. It'll do the
Yeah.
maps up there if
Yeah.
you want it. It gives you the speed limit.
Mhm.
It gives you what you're driving and the
Yeah.
speed limit right next
And
to
it's
it.
kind of like that. But the reason why I won't buy, and they're twice as much, so that's the first reason I won't buy, because they're really expensive. But
what's the price zone?
I think
Like
that
$1,000?
I think that with the lens thing, with the Google thing, I call it the Google thing. I think they're over $1,000, like $1,200. That's too much money.
too much.
But the other thing I don't like about it, you have to wear this wristband, and your wristband is the mouse.
Oh.
So the mouse, in order
So
to
you-
move things
Your
around on
cursor's all over the
Google.
place.
Yeah, so now you got to wear this thing on your arm.
But
and
hold on
for
a
your
second. Hold on.
glasses,
Just
it's too
because
much.
I have to know, it might not be too much. Is this like, do you have to touch?
Nope.
Okay, so you just use it like Iron Man, like you're moving things in your.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That might not be too much. That's
I
cool.
mean, it's just like another thing that I have to, another contraption I got to wear. I was like, I'll wait till they come out where you don't need it anymore.
So you have this visual heads-up display that's spatially out in front of you in your glasses, and you just reach with your hand and like move it like a mouse.
I think it's more like you barely move your wrist, and it'll move it to the left and to the right
it's probably
and stuff.
subtle.
I haven't
So
used it, but it's it isn't like you're
Yeah.
moving it around like
That's cool.
yeah.
board, big board.
But it's
That's your
also
slide stuff over
it's
there.
voice
Yes.
controlled.
Yes.
I'm assuming, like it's listening to
1200
you.
you said?
Oh yeah, and you could say you could say, hey, you could do everything you can do with Siri on it. Like, so you could say, hey, I want a good restaurant in the area, or you could just start asking it questions. It'll answer
Yeah.
stuff. And sometimes I don't even know if it's on or not. So sometimes I got to say, hey, Meta, are you on or not? Right. I don't even know if the lenses
So it's
are
getting
working.
closer and closer to that. What everyone really wants is just like something that is like your personal assistant, does whatever you want. It's like you don't have to ask it; it's just listening, and it hears you, and it does the right thing, right?
That's the key.
Yeah.
It's the
It's
right
kinda-
thing.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's listening to you,
This is-
and it's going to do the
but
right
That's why I'm
thing.
never gonna have it. Right there. I don't ask Siri anything.
Mm-mm.
Like I don't ask. I don't need you. I know. I'm good. I don't ask you anything. You better not be listening to me, phone.
It's. I mean, it probably is.
Oh, I know it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we'll talk about pick a product. We'll
Yeah.
talk about it for 10 minutes and it'll start bombing me ads on it.
Have you
So-
seen that? There's some comedian that like his opening monologue was a very dark, deep, just talking about weird stuff, and he said something like, now all your phones are gonna have fun with that, guys. Like have fun with that.
It's facts.
Well, the thing I'm bummed out about, they were working yesterday, and when I tried to turn them on today, they're not working now, and I'm very bummed out because I'm like, oh my god, I'm not buying another pair of these because I don't know what's wrong
You
with them.
probably have to charge them.
No, the charger seems to be the problem. That's the charging port's not working now. So I don't know. I did drop them yesterday, so I'm wondering.
Whoa! You don't say that. Whoa! Can you edit that out? Can you edit that out, please?
The insurance guy.
What? I dropped it yesterday.
Well, it stopped
Well,
working.
now you can go take them back.
It stopped working around the time that you dropped it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Coincidence happens. It really does.
All right, Sherlock.
I'm not sure if Jim is like the proper beta test.
I have a
beta
joke
tester
about
guy.
that. I have a joke about that. So scientists is trying to figure out why frogs jump, right? So the scientist do an experiment. So he tells the frog to jump, frog, jump, and the frog jumps, right? And then he goes and he cuts off one of the front legs, and he's like, jump, frog, jump. And it takes him a little while, but the frog jumps. Then he cuts off the other front leg. He's asking, and he's taking notes about all this, and he's telling the frog to jump, frog, jump, and it jumps. Third leg, right? He's telling it to jump, and it's taking longer and longer, but it's jumping, but it isn't jumping very far. And then he takes off the fourth leg. He's yelling, jump, frog, jump. And then he writes down his notes as a conclusion that frogs' legs are their ears. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the same kind of correlation that I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I don't know the different why thing. So anyway, I barely dropped it though, so I have no idea. Why is my computer not working? I have no idea.
Because you dropped your glasses.
Yeah.
It's all related.
Did you drop your computer?
Drop them that bad. If that's what it takes, I don't want them again. If that little drop is.
I don't know if that was on camera or not, but Jim was talking about how his phone's, the glasses stopped working, and we're like, oh, you got to charge it up. Or right now, he goes, why is my computer not working? He looks around, his cord isn't
Gotta plug it in.
It's the whole plug-in cord thing. I get it. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about today. One of the things that we're going to do, and I think this is really important for a lot of people that are buying and selling, is we're going to do a Florida buyer's guide primer on Florida insurance with Ross and Mike here from both perspectives of like what's needed and what you got to know that you probably don't know about insurance. That'll be a lot of fun.
Cool.
We also got the market stats came out again for March. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to be putting out a weekly email next week, and I'm going to be calling it the Smart Economy. And I'm going to tell you why it's called the Smart Economy right now. A lot of people nationally are calling it the Smart Economy when it comes to real estate. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We got good news on the mortgage rates. We're going to get into that. We got bad news on foreclosures. We'll get into that. Also, single women are buying houses like crazy right now. Most ever in the whole time recorded for single women buying properties. And I found out a factoid from 1974 that blew my mind.
Fact from 74.
From 1974.
A 52-year-old fact.
Yep, a 52. And I did not know this. And I was double digits in age at that point, and I did not know that this was true. And when I read it, I was like, And now I did a little research. It seems to be true, so we're going to talk about that real quick.
We better get to that today.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what movies would have come out in 74 for reference.
Oh,
I wasn't
74.
around,
Oh,
but I'm
that's a
thinking.
that's a tough year for me to think of 74. Like what was out?
I know. I don't know.
Godfather 2 maybe came out around.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good one. I don't know.
75.
Yeah.
Smith Family Robinson.
Yeah.
Jaws? What year was Jaws?
Jaws 75, I think.
I feel like it was
think it was
75.
I was going to
75.
say 78 on that, but I might.
No, 78's too. That was.
Did you say The Godfather?
I'd say Godfather 2.
Yeah, Godfather Part 2 came out. Chinatown.
Oh, that was pretty. Oh, Chinatown.
Oh, no.
That's one of my favorite crime movies
Blazing-
of all time.
Blazing
Blazing
Saddles.
Why isn't that on the top of the
Young
list?
Yeah,
Frankenstein?
exactly.
What about the Swiss
Young
Family
Frankenstein
Robinson?
came out the same year as Blazing Saddles.
Yeah. The Texas
Wow.
Chainsaw
Nope.
Massacre.
Wow. That's OG awesomeness.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's been
Have you
amazing.
seen that? Have you rewatched that?
And every variation too. It's
The
been
original.
it's been remade so many. The original's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the last. I remembered the last like probably 20 minutes is just screaming.
It's so
like
dark.
the girl running around screaming.
Yeah, it's
running
so
for her
good.
life.
And then the closing scenes, just epic. So good. But the remakes, the most recent remake is totally worth a watch, by the way. Oh, the ending. The endings, just go to the very end.
I don't know.
I was
which one
okay
that
with
is.
Texas Chainsaw, but I actually liked Night of the Living Dead better.
Yeah.
Right, where they were stuck in the
black
mall.
and white.
Yeah, the black and white where they're stuck in the mall.
And the remake's great too.
Yeah, I thought it was the mall. Weren't they stuck in the mall at one point? Maybe not
remember
the black and white
original
one. Maybe
being
not the black
old.
and white one.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the
Pre-mall.
Yeah, maybe.
That's so
Well,
good.
Let's get into a little bit of shout outs if you don't mind. Want to give a shout out to Danny. Danny, we helped her sell her house. And I also want to say shout out to Kathy. Kathy referred us to Danny. Danny called me up, and this is the one where we had the $670,200. Don't forget about the $200. The $670,200 code enforcement fine on her property. And it's an historical home in downtown West Palm Beach. We had to go to a hearing for this before a magistrate. Magistrate is not a judge. It's an appointed person basically to oversee things like a judge, but they're not formally a judge. And in my opinion, and this is only my opinion, those people there are to collect money for the city as best as they can. And
are they elected or magistrate?
No, these people are appointed. for these
Ah.
kind of special hearings, right? For code enforcement board. So I'm going to tell the whole story right now, if you don't mind. So what happened was Danny put her house on the market for was under contract for $500,000, and she was going to close in September of last year. I was not the listing agent. And then right before she quits her job, because she's going to be moving, she already put first class security down for an apartment where she's going to be moving to, had everything all ready to go. And then she finds out from the title company, hey, what are you going to do about this $670,200 code enforcement fine?
First thing is find the typo. Like that's got to be a typo.
Right. Now think about this. The house was under contract for $500,000. The lien was $670,000.
That's insane.
So the buyer walked, shorting the story, the buyer walked. Danny now has no job. She can't sell the house because she's got this code enforcement fine. She doesn't know why she has a code enforcement fine, right? And she's got this big problem. She loses her deposit. She can't get her job back that she quit. So she's been unemployed for September until we close this week. Can you imagine?
It's a rough
And
patch,
she couldn't
yeah.
sell her house, right? She had no way to sell her house. Her house had a mortgage, so she's not some kind of super rich person or something. She's like all of us. Had to make a mortgage payment, didn't want the house anymore. So one of her friends said, you got to call Jim, right? So she called me. She didn't know who that guy was. I met with her at her house. She served me a really nice eggplant Parmesan meal when we were there.
Whoa.
And yeah.
Wait, was
And,
she single?
Yeah, she's single.
Oh.
So what ended up happening was we went through everything, and she needed to sell it right now. So she goes, I don't want to put it at 500 anymore. I just want to sell the house. So she says, Jim, you got to get me 450, right? And I'm like, okay. I understood her situation, so we had to do a sell it now price. Put it on the market. It was a zoo. I felt like we were in boom of COVID time. I think we had over 20 requests for showings in the first 48 hours.
Well, because you put it at a price point where you anticipated a.
Yeah, but it wasn't
Fever
that
pitch,
crazy low. It wasn't like a super crazy low price or anything.
No, not super crazy low, but low is going to draw a lot
Yeah.
of attention.
Yes, and that neighborhood is one of the booming, up-and-coming instant millionaire neighborhoods we talked about a few weeks ago.
Mm.
So this is a
Huge
neighborhood,
opportunity.
yeah, where people can buy the house and you can tear it down in that neighborhood, and a developer might pay you over $1 million just for the lot. Now, this house, you can't do that because it's a historic, designated historic, so there is no tear down.
Ah, so you
So
can watch
that-
all your neighbors get rich.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Who makes
So-
that designation?
But it's historic.
The
feels good.
city.
Right.
There's two different, well, I guess there's three different historic designations. There's the city, and then you can have the state historic designation, and then the national registry. So you could be on any one of those three levels or all three together.
And You
Like-
apply for that,
Like,
or
what was the Al Pacino movie where he was blind?
Scent of a Woman.
There it is.
That's you reminded me of Son of a Woman right now. Okay, what were you saying, Russ? I'm sorry.
And he was interrogating.
What was your question, Russ? I'm sorry.
and how do you get on that list? Some like the city says, "Hey," or you apply for it.
I think it could be both. And sometimes you reject it because I remember when I covered the city of Boynton Beach, some people asked to be historic and they were denied. Right. So I think you could ask for it. But sometimes the cities decide and they just anoint your house historic.
Do you get tax benefits?
I don't
What's
know. You
the-
don't get any tax benefits. All you get is burdens.
Well, then why? Yeah, why
Yeah.
would you do that then?
Yeah.
Because you have to force the issue.
Some
for it to
people
happen.
love it. Some people love the historic homes. They
Yeah,
just
you-
love them.
Preservation.
You get to
Mhm.
put a little plaque, little oval plaque on the side of
This
your
one
house.
had it 1921. The house was 1921.
You start getting invited to all the best parties. I
Yeah.
think.
Think
Well,
of
and
it.
if it's historic, you can use like all those super old things that are now like against code, right? You can be like,
Oh,
hey, it's
lead-based
historic.
paint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knob and
Cast
tube electric.
iron.
Right.
Tube electric.
Cyber.
Yeah, that's like that.
Beautiful.
So Danny was in a real jam. So she was like, we need to get through the code enforcement fine before we could put the house on the market. And I was like, no, we put the house on the market right now because you're hemorrhaging money and we'll deal with the code enforcement as we go along.
You were optimistic there was some reasonable resolution.
Well, the reason why I was optimistic that we were going to get this done right is that when you looked at what happened to Danny's situation, it was a horrible miscarriage of justice. And when I tell you what happens at the end of the story, it was a success story, but a lot of people I've talked to about this is like, I would have never done that. I would have never caved in, and I'll explain what happened. So this is what happened. We go to the magistrate. We had 3 offers we were negotiating, and this one offer was higher than all the rest, and it was cash. And it was a Palm Beach kind of realtor and her ex-husband, who's a real estate attorney in West Palm and has gone to these magistrate hearings many, many times for code enforcement. And we took their offer, and then, well, we were going to take their offer, and I asked them to rewrite the contract, and because he's an attorney, I didn't want to waste a lot of time. And he called back and he goes, this is what I want you to do. I want to put a term in there that if the city reduces the fine from $670,000 to $67,000 or less, that the seller has to close with us on this deal. And what I was explaining to the attorney before, as we were negotiating, that we wanted to be able to bail out of any offer that we accept if the numbers from the code enforcement board got crazy, because she could be upside down on this house and then be forced to sell it, right? That would be impossible.
Right.
So the attorney said, okay. We talked for like a half hour. Then he calls me back and he goes, I want to put this clause in. And I go, well, I'm going to present it to the seller, but I'm going to recommend she not do that. And he goes, look, I go to these hearings all the time. The lowest they're going to reduce this fine is 10%, down to 10% of the total amount. And I said, well, you don't know all the facts of the case, and this is an outrageous miscarriage of justice, and I'm going to do better than that, right? And so and about an hour later, goes, I'm out. He goes, I don't want to deal with it. So then we rolled right into our second shout out,
offer.
which is Collie and Aaron, who called us from Atlanta. They've been looking for a home in that area that they just renovated an 1864 house up in Atlanta. That must have been a lot of fun. I'm sure it's gorgeous. So they wanted a new project and they wanted to come down here, and they have a lot of friends that live in the Palm Beach area, like on the island. So they wanted to come down and get an old historic home. So we went into contract with them at full asking price. And then we had to wait for the code enforcement hearing. And this is the part I want to get to with Danny. So Danny called like a couple nights before the hearing, and she goes, the city called me and said they want to make me an offer to settle this case. And they offered me $67,000, right? Isn't that a
Oh.
coincidence, right?
Wow.
And I go, Danny, you can't take that, in my opinion. And I go, I have attorneys that you can hire, right? So I mentioned, of course, Paul Krasker. And she didn't want to do that because it was too much money. She's already hemorrhaging money. She's like, I don't, and the timing. She didn't want to wait any longer. She needed to sell the house. So she says, I have a backup plan of what I'm going to do when we get there. And I'm going to offer them 10% of the sale of the house, which was $450 at that point. And I'm like, Danny, please don't do that. And her argument was, you can't fight City Hall. And she was this is a very high emotional conversation we had. And I was like, yes, you can fight City Hall. I used to watch it all the time as a reporter. And a lot of times you can win if you got the right case. In your case, I don't even think you need an attorney to win this case.
Yeah. The facts alone are all on your favor.
So we went to the code enforcement hearing, and the first two people, I think there were 2 or 3 people ahead of us. I had my calculator out.
10%.
I saw what
10%.
Well, actually, they were 12 to 15%.
Okay.
So then, and each time that happened, code enforcement was there, and they were the prosecutors, if you will, and you had the magistrate, then you had the defendant, if you will, the person that owned the house. So each time that the people came up, the code enforcement people says, we have a settlement, Your Honor. We're reducing the fine from this to this, and they're in compliance. And the judge would pro forma just say, okay, we're moving forward.
It's like a plea agreement. They've already kind of
exactly. It's all worked out. The judge just has to make sure it's
Johnny
kosher.
knows.
So
right?
yeah, we all know that, right?
He's like, I watch a lot of Law and Order.
So now it's Danny's case. They call us up, and the code enforcement person says, we do not have a settlement on this case, Your Honor. Now, it's the highest fine by far of any of the houses that are on there. I think that there must have been 30 cases on that docket, and probably the highest is 122,000, and we're at 670,000, right? So the judge's like, okay, I guess we're going to have a hearing. He didn't look real happy. She gets up there to talk to the magistrate. So code enforcement says, look, they're finally in compliance. Everything's been taken care of. We're agreeing. We've offered a $67,000 settlement. She's denying it. So the judge turns to her and says, let me tell you something. 10% is very reasonable for this code enforcement board to offer. It's it's pretty much the lowest that they'll go. And this is a very good thing, and you need to seriously consider it, basically is what he said. And he goes, so how much do you think you should pay? So Danny said nothing, right? And then, but the problem that she had was
this.
Well, her problem, yeah, exactly, right. The problem that she had is that she wasn't saying the right things to the judge. She doesn't understand this even to this moment, but she was saying all the wrong things. I love the neighborhood. I would never hurt the neighborhood. I moved here because I loved it, right? I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't know about this, but no facts, right? And then she became emotional, was crying and saying how this was going to financially cripple her if she had to pay this fine. And the judge said to her at this point, I totally understand what your concerns are, but I have 2 considerations. The first consideration is we're on live TV right now because it's one of those, city channels, whatever you call those, where you can watch the city government, the closed circuit TV stuff, right? He goes, the whole city could be watching this. Anybody in the city could be watching this right now. How am I going to justify going from $670,000 down to zero? And he was basically saying, I'm not doing that.
I'd be like, how do you justify getting to 670,000?
Well, wait. So then
with everybody watching.
Yeah. So the second thing he said is, and I have to take in consideration that for 6,702 days, you did nothing about this property because it was $100 a day fine. Okay. So at that point, that's when I was raising my hand. So I'm sitting in the galley and I'm raising my hand, and he's not looking my way. He's looking specifically at Danny, and I wasn't sure if he's even see me. So now I'm becoming more emphatic with raising my hand. It's like, you got to talk to me before you slam that gavel down. And without even looking at me, he turns to Danny and he says, there's some guy in the gallery right now raising his hand. I think he wants to talk to you. Know who he is? And she goes, yes, that's my realtor. And he looks at me and he goes, do you want to talk? And I go, yes, I do, Your Honor. And I went up, and what I said was
I was waiting for Jimmy to drop a
the legal stuff,
yes,
right?
That's
the
my
legal
realtor.
part, right? So with the legal part, what I explained to them was that she didn't have proper notice, that there was no proper notice, that she never knew about this fine and never knew about it.
It's not
And-
like she ignored a notice.
Right.
She never received a notice, and that's a tough thing to prove.
Well, that's a legal thing. And when you have improper notice, you can get in a lot of trouble for doing that, right?
Two
Like
different
from the
Ds,
city
though.
side, right?
Yes.
So I'm saying improper notice. I go, Your Honor, it isn't that she didn't do anything for 672 or 6,700 days. It's that she didn't know about it. She never knew. And I go, and then once she found out, she did everything the city asked her to do. Building department, code enforcement department, historical society. Everybody crawled over that house like ants crawling over every square inch. And the fines, so this is how she was getting the fines. So I did the research, and the fines were for installation of kitchen cabinets in 2006 that were never closed out. The cabinets are still there, right? Not the countertops, not electric, just the cabinets, install the cabinets. And then the second thing is she needed an energy not she. The house had a permit in 2006. They put in a new AC, and they didn't do the energy calculation form. And so it wasn't closed out.
So hold on real quick. If I'm putting in new cabinets, I ain't telling anybody. I have to get a permit for that?
Historical society, dude.
That's ridiculous.
So what
Another
happened
reason
was
why you should never do that,
yeah.
Ross.
So what happened was the judge said this is a title problem, which I would have expected. That's the first thing I said to Danny. The title company should cover this because there was a fine that nobody knew about, and the title company should have covered it.
This all happened before she owned the home. Is that what you're saying, title?
Yes. So yes, I'll get there. So then what happened was I explained to the judge that she did go to the title company. The title company said there was no recourse, and that back then in 2006, title companies really didn't do the same checks that they do post real estate crisis after the bust. They were more stringent now, supposedly. I didn't know that. Judge didn't believe me. There was an attorney in the back that groaned about that answer like I was BSing him. And I was like, look, I understand that you're as surprised as I was, but that's what I was told by a major title company down here in South Florida. So then I said the judge said to Danny, I feel like this is a very good settlement. I feel like you should take it because I don't think you want me to rule. And then I said, Your Honor, I have another thing to bring up to you. I've done a lot of research on this property, and the code enforcement isn't telling you the whole story. This is what happened. There was a previous owner of this house. They're the ones that pulled all those permits. For whatever reason, when the permits expired, they started noticing the old owner. But the old owner sold the house to my current customer, Danny, sold the house during this whole time of everything happened, and nobody told her about these code enforcement fines, and it wasn't found out during the title. So they were noticing the old owner for 6,702 days and never told Danny. They never knocked on her door, never gave her a registered return seat to the house, never called her up. I go, they had her phone number, and the judge still didn't look like he was going to do something. I go, Your Honor, there's something else you need to know. 3 times since 2007, when this fine started, Danny pulled permits with not knowing that she had an outstanding code enforcement fine. The first time, she put a 50% addition on her house, approved by the city with certificate of occupancy. They went through the whole process to put a 50% addition on that house, and nobody told her that she was not in compliance with the code enforcement department. And they gave her a certificate of occupancy fully done
And meanwhile, still noticing the old owner
at $100 a day.
and still sending the old owner notices while they're working directly with her on a permit that's happening currently. Oh, this is brilliant.
It gets better. It gets
Wow.
better. So not only did that happen,
And there's more?
there is more. And then not only did that happen,
Brilliant.
she ended up putting impact windows in her house through the PACE
Palm Beach
program,
County's finest.
right? So she used the PACE energy program, had to pull permits for that. City gave her full certificate of occupancy, and the impact windows were done, and everything was done and finalized out. Nobody told her. And then they go, and Your Honor, the worst one was,
And you have to refer to this guy as your honor.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I
jeez.
go, Your Honor, the other thing that happened is code enforcement filed a complaint against Danny because part of her fence was too rickety. So she had to pull a permit to comply with code enforcement to fix this one section of her fence. And she did. and code enforcement approved it and said it was satisfied and that she was in compliance, and never told her during that process that she had this other fine.
Yeah, hey, that's great. Now can we get this in compliance?
So the
what in
judge-
compliance?
I think-
The thing that we've been sending you notices on for 6,000 days.
Right.
I never received a notice. That's a great time to introduce her to it.
So the magistrate's head was about
Brilliant.
to explode because he wanted that. In my opinion, he was set at that
Well,
67,000.
that's why
or more.
you believe that they're there to collect for the city.
That's
Yeah,
why. That's
yeah.
why I felt that way. So he
What was
turned.
his last name? Is it Duche?
I don't
Is
want
that his
to.
last name?
It's touche.
Wow.
So
Touche.
he turned to the code
It's
enforcement
touche.
department to find out if this crazy realtor is saying all this BS just to get this thing out of it. So he turns, he goes, "What do you have to say about this?" And the code enforcement guy, he got real quiet, and he says, "Your Honor, in April 26, 2006, we met with the current owners, which were the previous owners, and they had these 2 abandoned permits, and they were being fined $100 a day. So we signed a document with them on April 26th that they would fix everything within 30 days. And then the records show," and then he got real quiet. He goes, "And then the records show that 4 days later, they sold the house to Danny." And then everybody in the courtroom got quiet.
Yeah, they're all like, "Come on, dude, do the right thing." Touche.
And everybody just got totally quiet. So he turned to Danny. He goes, "What do you think you should pay?"
I told you already. 0.
But Danny didn't. So what? She coughed out a number.
No, she
I know, that's the way I
$2.
felt. So
should have hired the attorney.
what was the number you think she coughed out? So we were at 67,000. She said she was going to counter at 45 if they wouldn't take the 67.
Yeah, 10% of the sale of the home. That's where she feels
So
comfortable.
what do you think she coughed it? What number do you think she coughed out to the judge when the judge says, "What do you think is fair that you should pay?"
40,000.
1%, 6,700.
Man, I can't even guess. It's just my mind's
It's
blown that
crazy.
she even opened her mouth.
What about you, Jimmy?
I'm going with Mike with 1%.
You're pretty close. She just coughed it out like she was so nervous when she said it too, and I don't blame her. This is big time pressure. She said $10,000 like that, right? And the judge frowned,
It's probably the most
And he
money he
turned-
collected that day.
and he turned. No, he collected a lot of money that day. The
Oh.
first 3 cases, he collected a lot of money, and then he turned to Danny. He turned to code enforcement and goes, "What do you say about that?" And this code enforcement person says, "We'll take it as payment in full," because they knew they were going to get creamed.
Yeah,
right?
it's, the right thing would have been like, Your Honor, we clearly, it should be 0.
So
That's
we-
like when Kramer settled for lifetime supply of coffee.
Yep.
Right? Free coffee.
yeah, because he burned himself.
Yeah.
So so
told you to
Danny
put the bomb
agreed
on.
to
Is that a
10,000.
Seinfeld reference?
Yeah.
She was happy. She saved on paper $57,000 because we fought it, and we were saying the right things to the judge. Because if the judge just argued, "This is going to bankrupt me. I can't afford this. I care about the community. I didn't do anything wrong," the judge was going to go, "Pfft, forget about it. You're going to pay
Yeah,
this
you
fine."
gotta
And
let
right-
them know what's up.
Yeah,
So-
and rightfully so. I mean, that's not a
Yeah.
reason, but
Right.
you did present the reason. Now, here's a question. Can the city go back to the old homeowners and go after them?
Well, frankly, what I think she should do is still go. What I would have done if they had sold her 67,000 or more, what I would have asked Danny. Now she probably wasn't going to do this. I would have said to her, "Don't agree to it. Let them fine you. Then the first thing we're going to do is go to your city commissioner, and we're going to give him all the paperwork and say this is an outrageous miscarriage of justice. She's already lost $50,000 on the sale of her home. She had to live in a home for 6 months, unemployed. She also had to keep making her mortgage payment. She lost her first class security for her apartment. She just got creamed on every level, and now you're going to punish her more for your mistake, right?" And I would have went to the city commissioner. I think a city commissioner with their salt would have helped that person out.
Sure.
But if they didn't, my plan was I got Channel 12, Channel 5, and the Palm Beach Post on my speed dial.
Sure.
Mm.
And my next thing was going to say, it's like, this is a Hey Mabel story. $670,000 fine on a $450,000 house. The owner was never noticed, pulled 3 permits during that time. Nobody told her anything.
Yeah.
And now they're demanding that she pay $67,000 on what I call a BS fine that she shouldn't have had at all. Anyway, that would have been a solid story for somebody to talk, news story.
I mean, it seems like a solid case
Yeah.
in general.
So I
Slam
would,
dunk.
if I were Danny, I would go back to the city commissioner in her district and say, I got totally screwed and I want my money back. I want my 10,000. But Danny's done. She just wants to get the hell out of here and move on. But congratulations.
Can I commend you
Shout
though?
out.
Because
Yeah.
the fact that you were even there, if you're not even there, she's paying 67,000.
Or 45.
Okay,
Right.
but it's
Yeah.
and thanks for being there. Thanks for caring. And thanks for having the stones to stand up and be like, all right, well, if she's not going to say it, I got to say it. I have to say it. It's just, I know that's not why you brought it up, but I'll pat you on the back a little bit.
Well, thanks. It did make me feel good when I left. I was like, oh, I'm a reporter again because I found out all the stuff the city didn't want to tell the judge.
Well,
and then I
you-
told the judge and I won.
And
I
you
was like,
researched it. So, I mean, you felt comfortable in raising your hand.
course.
You felt comfortable in your standing. You
Oh, yeah.
knew her case. You understood the facts. And when you feel good about facts, you can stand up against,
Yeah.
you know,
And
atrocity.
I'm not an attorney, and I wasn't playing an attorney
course.
because I always get worried about that because I felt like I was getting in deeper and deeper because I really wanted her to hire an attorney, right?
That's what I
But the
uttered when
fact that
she's-
she didn't, I figured, well, you know, she's going to a gunfight with a knife. You know, maybe
butter
if she had
knife.
2 knives. Maybe she had 2 knives. Maybe we'll win.
A plastic.
But yeah, plastic. Yeah, a sport. A sport.
Jeez. Well, so
So-
it sounds like she feels pretty good about
I
that.
think she was really happy at the end. And
I'm not thrilled, but
and-
she shouldn't pay $1.
And
That's
then
terrible.
congratulations to Collie and Aaron, who are the people that bought the house. They're so happy that they
bet.
bought this house.
And
really-
to the guy that was like, "You're never gonna get less than
Oh,
67,000."
I'm going to call that guy Monday.
Oh, don't be that petty.
I
Don't do
am.
it.
I'm
All right,
gonna
you know
call
what? I
him
like
up.
it. I
I'm
like
going to
it.
do it because
Okay,
the
good.
guy was so smarmy with me. He was so smarmy, like, you don't know what you're doing. And I was like, you don't know me.
You better not watch it.
He's probably the type of guy that would change his story when you tell him. He'd be like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's not what I meant."
Well, the shout out for Collie and Aaron are also to Mike because Mike did the loan for them. And the best part is they're not first-time buyers. They're not buying their only home or anything. But Mike was able to get them that 15,000
That's right.
Smart Start.
Start incentive.
Is Smart Start fit for a historic area? That's ridiculous.
This is
You
really
have no idea where Smart Start fits.
it's
You have
really
no idea.
great that
Yeah.
this I know that money's going to run out soon because I'm using a lot of it. I'm joking, but I know that money's going to run out at some point. But I'm so happy with that program. It's helped that Smart Start program has helped so many people. And
Yep.
thank you, Mike. They fell in love with Mike, Collie, and Aaron. No surprise there.
Sure.
And
I mean, no surprise.
and
No
we got a text just yesterday, Mike, and she says, I've told all my friends about the experience down here. They all want to move to the same general area. Can you please set up searches for us so that any of the good properties out there that pop up, let us know right away. We have a lot of friends that want to buy,
Oh wow.
and they'll be using Mike.
Okay.
So thank you
Sweet.
so much, guys.
Awesome.
That was so nice. Just a couple other little shout outs before the end. Doug and Stephanie got into contract. Really happy about that. They use Mike. Mike, what kind of programs are they using? Are they using any down payment assistance or Smart Start or anything like that?
Yeah, they actually got a really nice combo. Also based on I'll categorize these in community lending initiatives. So they got Smart Start. They also have one. It's a city bank program, but they kind of like as a direct lender, you have access to these things, and so. That one is a low down payment conventional. So we're doing 5% down conventional, which would normally have mortgage insurance. This program has no mortgage insurance.
So that saves
So-
you almost like, 3/4
Yeah.
of a point?
Not
on the
only are they
insurance?
getting like a better than market interest rate, and it's Smart Start eligible, and it's low down payment, no MI. So a payment that could have been, it's probably, $200 to $300 less
a month.
on the payment simply based on the location of the home and nothing to do with the buyers. Now, the other programs do have some, first-time home buyer, income limits, reduced debt to income, but we were able to just on this home that they found. We weren't planning on using this, but the home that they found that they got a contract on, of course, I'm always like, what do we got? What can we
What can
we
I
do?
apply?
Like, yeah. And so we actually went into contract as an FHA offer for them. And then when I realized the home and kind of the options, we switched it up to conventional and using this program.
And I'm so happy.
That's
We
awesome.
must have looked at
Yeah.
15
Yeah,
to
super
20
cool.
houses. It was very hard to find a house for them. They're at a price point in Palm Beach County that's very tough for a single family home. Doug and Stephanie, I helped them buy their home, I think, 8 years ago in the Lake Worth area. And then their home got bought out by a developer who's doing a massive development in that area. So they had the developers like, it's time to skedaddle. So
Skedaddle.
yeah, it's time to skedaddle, get out of here. So we had to help them find a home. I'm really happy that we were able to do something for them. Stephanie's a teacher, a public school teacher down here.
Yeah, she also would have been Hometown Heroes eligible. That was on our plate of options.
Right. So there were a lot of options for her. So we're really happy that Doug and Stephanie are in their home. We just did the inspection. Mike came out great.
Beautiful.
So we did the inspection. I think it's such a blur. Thursday or Friday. I don't even, yesterday or Thursday. It's such a blur. Was it Wednesday? Oh my God.
Yeah.
This week was crazy. Finally, want to also give a shout out to Paul and Anna. Paul and Anna called us off of the sign for Danny's house and said, hey, I'm very interested in buying this house. And I was like, it's already under contract and we already have a backup buyer. So I don't think that this is the house for you. So he was already talking to other realtors in the area. He's from Oregon. Him and Anna are from Oregon. And when I started talking to him on the phone, I explained everything to buyers that they need to know that they don't know, especially from being out of state. And I said, I'd really love to sit down with you and show you what I could do. And he goes, oh, I'm meeting with you for sure. And then we went and looked. So this is the crazy thing. I met him a week ago. And he says to me, Jim, I got a problem. I got to buy a house by April 20th. And I'm like, and this is like April 7th, right? Or maybe even a little early, April 3rd. He goes, I got to buy a house on April 20th. I was like, well, that's going to be pretty hard, but let's go ahead and we're going to make it happen. He goes, well, I'm going to be gone until the 13th. After he was leaving to go on vacation after we met. So I had 7 days to find him a house, and he was at not a super high budget. And he also wanted to be in the same type of neighborhood that Danny was in. And so on Monday, I think it was this Monday, the 13th, I scheduled 13 showings because we had one day basically, right? So I scheduled 13 showings. I made a loop around an area that went from Riviera Beach down to Lantana. And we did this loop so they could get a flavor of the type of houses and the neighborhoods and everything so you can get a real idea. They fell totally in love with the house in Riviera Beach. It is, I don't know, 20 houses west of Peanut Island. I'm kind of exaggerating a little bit, but it's like right by the Intercoastal. Right by John Phipps Park and all that, where everybody goes. They got it under contract. We're not going to do the inspection for until next week, but we're under contract, and thank you so much for trusting us. When we went into contract, Paul said, yeah, we were talking with another realtor as we were meeting you, and then we decided that talking to them and talking to you, you were the guy. And
two different beasts.
It was two different ways of handling it.
Yeah. I think both of us get that a lot, which is like, oh, geez, my other person didn't talk to me.
Didn't say any
about
any
of this stuff. You're like,
yeah, even talking about the tax thing, the property tax thing.
Yep.
Nobody talks to people about that. It's so sad because it's such a shocking thing if you don't know that your tax bill is going to be different than what.
Well, I always say there's a difference between people that are good at what they do and great at what they do.
Okay.
And if you experience that difference, you're like, wow, that's a
if you compare that, if you compare that with people who are bad at what they do.
Oh, well, I don't even, there's plenty of those, but like, oh no, they're good at what they do. Well, that's good. How about you want somebody that's great at what they do?
I'll tell you something. I got a shout out.
Sure, please.
I've got some clients who are selling a manufactured home to buy their new home, but it's a manufactured home that you don't own the land. So it's kind of like a automobile style financing. They call it a chattel loan. So you don't do regular residential financing with that. And I will tell you, the lenders in that space don't know what they're doing because they have gotten into contract after contract after contract where the financing falls through. And I'm like, what kind of pre-approval are they doing? They're like, it seems like you get into contract first and then you figure out if you can do financing. Or
I didn't know you can go to like a person like yourself to do that kind of loan.
You know,
I thought if you don't have the land, it's like buying a car. That's what I tell people. You're buying a car.
But they do have financing for it. You know, and a lot of times, especially if you go into these manufactured home communities called, mobile home park or something like that. And the distinction is you own the mobile home, but you don't own the land that it sits on. So you're essentially paying lot rent. Someone else owns that. And so it's not really residential real estate. although it's a home and you live there, it's not really real estate for my purposes. But something I learned is FHA actually has a product for something like that, and it's called a Title I, FHA Title I lending instead of Title II, which is the world I'm in. And I didn't know that, and they came with an FHA. I'm like, guys, I don't think so. But then they're like, hey, Mike, Title I. I said, okay. I can't do them, but it
Who
can
can
be
do
done.
them then?
I guess lenders who do Title I lending with FHA. I don't know.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I learned
But that's not
I
the
love
only
this
one.
show.
That's unusual to see that. So usually it's some sort of like equivalent of an automobile loan. Shorter terms, higher interest rates.
So they were selling that,
But
and
they've been in like 5 contracts that all fell through because the people couldn't get approved for their loan.
this isn't. Are the initials FC?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, I was wondering. Okay, because
No.
I had somebody that was trying to do
Is that,
something
is
like
that,
that.
Johnny's brother?
Yeah.
Frank?
yeah. Yes.
Frankie C.
Yeah, Frankie C. So I know that we went way over budget for time because of my stupid story. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the next 10
Not a
minutes.
stupid
We're
story.
That was an
gonna-
awesome story.
Yeah.
Pretty
Oh,
amazing
thanks.
story. Yeah.
We're going to I'm going to do 2 of the subjects and then we'll take the break at 10. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is talk about single ladies love home ownership, right? So for the first time ever, single women account for 50.9% of single women that are adults, obviously, own homes now.
I didn't know
50.
I didn't know women could buy homes.
Well,
Pretty soon they're
that's,
going to be able to vote.
When
Oh,
did we
I can't
allow
believe-
this?
Yeah.
well, 1974. That's
Black-
my factoid.
That's
I
when
can't
women
believe you
could
said
vote?
that. 1974 is when they created a regulation that allowed women to buy a house without having a male co-signer. I almost fell out of my chair when I read that.
Wow.
Can you imagine 1974? Before 1974, a woman couldn't buy a house by themselves without a male
way.
co-signer.
That's pitiful.
Is
I
that
was
crazy?
joking about, but like that is nuts.
That's the factoid I wanted to say. I can't believe you said that.
It sounds unbelievable.
I started doing research on it. It's totally true.
Did you finish the research?
You get to the end of the article. Just kidding.
That's a good one. I like that.
That is.
So-
that is.
Yeah,
that's
so-
shocking.
So what did you say? So
So
50%
50.9%.
of adult women. So half of women who are able to buy a home
It's the highest
have bought a
ever.
home.
And just to give you an idea, about 11%, that figure was 11% in 1981. And about 10% in 1981 of single men in 1981, 10% of them owned homes at that point.
I don't know if I believe these numbers. Half of the single women in the country, adults,
From age 18
adults
to,
to whatever, half of them
are homeowners.
own a home.
More than 20 million single women own homes in the U.S., meaning about 50.9% of the demographic are homeowners. So
That
that's
is
what it's saying.
Crazy.
And this is
Good for
coming-
you, ladies.
I'm
There's only
checking
40
the
million adult
source,
women?
Johnny.
I guess there's only 40
All the
million
single
single,
ladies,
women.
all the single
I know,
ladies.
that's what I'm
Single.
thinking. That's
Single.
So it's coming from First American Title. Okay. That's the company that did this research and analysis, right? Which is one of the largest title companies in the country. But they're saying that we're seeing more and more of this. And,
Huh.
and
Good for them.
yeah, and the 1981 figure, about 11% of home buyers were single women and 10% were single men. That's according to the National Association of Realtors. Now single. Oh, so single women make 21% of all home buyers today,
Well, sure, half of them.
right?
Well, no, half of them already own a home. And wow, the other half are actively trying to become homeowners.
No, what they're saying, just so you understand, is what they're saying is out of the total homes that are already owned, right? Single woman, for the demographic of single women, 50.9% of single women own a home,
Correct.
right?
According
Now,
to these stats.
This, according to these stats. Now they're saying that that include when you look at the whole demographic of everybody, they account for 21% of the home buyers today. Single men only make up 9% of the home buyers.
You say
today.
home buyers today. They're already owners. How are they buyers?
This is
They
saying
bought a home.
right now, people that are running around looking for houses, 21% of everybody. If you had 100 people
So that's
looking
what I'm
for
saying.
homes,
Half of those single women already own a home, and they're a huge chunk of who's out there looking for homes right now. single ladies running.
That's what I'm
things.
saying. Single ladies have got it going right now. So
I have to figure out how to market that, Ross.
So we're seeing this, and they, First American Title credits some of this because of college degrees. Women have more college degrees than ever before. In 2000, only 20% of women had a bachelor's degree. Now it's 35%, and it's saying it's expanding the pool of financially prepared buyers. And they also saw real median income growth of about $9,000 a year compared to their 2000 salaries. Isn't that sad?
So
From
I'll tell you
2000
though,
until now, $9,000 a year.
it feels like a staggering number, but if you think, Timothy, think back to Penthouse. Remember when we had a couple years with Brooke?
Right.
Oh,
Brooke
okay,
was a
sorry.
younger single lady,
Right.
and she had a company called Bentley's Before Babies. Her company was all attire, was a brand she was building, and her friends and her circle, their mentality was, we're gonna make it, and then we'll have a family and get married. And so as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, it's kind of crazy. Ladies are crushing it, but I'm like, so there's at least a demographic, a segment, a certain demographic age. I don't know what that age is, but she was young, mid-20s when she was on our show, and there she is. And I mean, entrenched in it. Like, nah, I ain't trying to lock in with a man. I'm gonna get my Bentley, my house. I'm gonna have all that, and then I'm gonna do all that.
I remember Brooke, but what show was she on?
On the Penthouse.
She was on the Penthouse. Okay.
She had a couple irons in the fire, if I remember right. I mean, as far as businesses, it
Yeah.
wasn't just the one. I mean, she did a couple different
Totally.
entrepreneurs.
So as I'm thinking about it, I was like, wow, that's staggering. Yeah, it was a beast mode they went into. Yeah, and it did well with it. Way to go, ladies.
I did a little bit of research.
Yeah, Brooke.
there she is. I got a couple drops left.
Yeah,
Brooke.
dunk your
There
head,
you go.
try to catch it with your mouth. That's my
So, just to wrap up on this segment, we're going to talk about a little bit about foreclosure rates, and to talk to people. Really, this is really just a call to action for people that are in trouble. The foreclosure rates are rising, but we're still within the normal range of about 3% for foreclosures nationwide. Florida right now is the number one place in the country for foreclosure filings. Tampa's number one in the country for being the highest region of foreclosure filings in the country, but Florida is the number one state right now.
Is Tampa one of the zones where there's been depreciation versus,
Yes, they're in big. I don't want to say big trouble, but they're having problems over there
is
now.
that still aftermath of the storm from
It's
how many
still all
years
the
back?
storm
2
aftermath.
2 years last year,
A lot of it is people.
or was it 2 years in a row they got it?
It was 2 years in a row.
So these are all people that are underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's always
so-
an interesting.
Yeah, literally.
No pun intended.
Yeah, literally.
I was gonna
That's
say literally.
well, that's for me. I mean, I again, if you're selling your home or you're refinancing, it matters. But can you afford your spot? If they can afford it, they should stick it out.
I think one of the, I guess what's the reason this is important, Jim? Because if you look at
Well,
foreclosure
the-
rates, you start to.
Well, here's what I'm seeing is the biggest demographic for foreclosure rates right now are seniors on fixed income, which is
brutal.
really sad.
Yeah, they can't.
Oh,
They can't.
So this is what I want to tell anybody out there listening. If you have a relative or a friend, or it's you that's in trouble with your mortgage, and you don't know what you're going to do because you don't have to be on fixed income, but I'm calling out directly to seniors right now, and you don't know what to do, you got to give us a call. We're not going to pressure you to sell your house or do anything. We're going to figure out what options you have. And the reason why you have to do this right away, like yesterday, if you're in trouble with your house, even if you're not in foreclosure yet, but you know the time's coming, because maybe you could afford a mortgage payment, but you can't afford the condo fee in your place because the condo assessments are too high or something like that. Get in front of it and call us and let us map out a plan for you to either save the house or sell the house. And it's going to be your choice. But the thing is, either way, you've got to protect your equity, especially if you're on fixed income.
Well, the earlier you get it going, the more options you're going to have.
Does it
Yes.
cost anything to have that analysis done?
Absolutely nothing. It will cost nothing to meet with me. It's going to cost nothing to meet with the law office of Paul A. Krasker, which specializes in loan modifications, short sales, and foreclosure defense. Now, if you hire anybody, you will pay something, but you're going to get all the You're going to get a plan for free. And then you could decide you want to do the plan or you don't want to do the plan. But this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to sit there and be worried and embarrassed and afraid and not tell anybody, because if you are in foreclosure and you do have a lot of equity in your place, because a lot of people still have tons of equity, unlike the last foreclosure crisis we had where people had no equity. Tons of people have equity right now. You got to protect, bless you, Mike, got to protect that equity, protect it, especially if you're on a fixed income or you're a senior. So we have ways to show you how to protect that money, and you've got to do that for yourself, because nobody from the bank is going to help you unless you request the help and do it in a way that the bank can respond to you in a positive way. We have the tools to do that. So please pick up the phone and give us a call right away. Don't wait and say, oh, I'm going to wait until next month. Maybe a miracle will happen. No, because that might cost you thousands of dollars in late fees, interest accrual, fines for not paying on time, attorney costs for filing the foreclosure against you and the work they're doing behind the scenes for the bank, the filing costs in the courthouse. All of that is going to be on your shoulders, and it's happening, especially if you've been sent a lawsuit, a lis pendens.
And if you're in one of those association communities, either HOA or condo COA, they're going to have lawyers too. So you got your lender with their lawyers and their fees and their fines, and you got your homeowners association with their lawyers and their fees and their fines. Is there a do they differentiate between who's initiating the foreclosures, whether those are HOA foreclosures versus lender foreclosures?
Because HOA are moving quick.
Yeah, and they can't always it's
a lot of
it's
times
kind of a weird one, because if they foreclose and the lender doesn't, it's a weird zone.
They've positioned themselves to get paid when the house is transferred at some point, but there isn't a lot else they can do at that point.
Yeah.
But they're positioned themselves to grab the money when it's there. So please don't let that happen to you. Foreclosures are up. I'm not trying to be crazy because it's only 3%.
We did a deal. We had to insure a home that was part of a transaction that was a foreclosure this month.
Just this month.
Yeah.
On the buy side.
It's not like a doom
yeah.
and gloom, hey, apocalypse is coming scenario. It's if you know somebody in need, please do not allow them to bury their head in the sand, because it's going to destroy everything they built. If they have equity, they've been there to build that equity. Don't watch it just go away by doing nothing. I think that's the point.
That's the whole point. Thank you, Johnny.
So are we going to take a break?
Yep, and on the flip side, we're going to do a primer and learn everything about insurance. And Ross just gave me this great email that I'm going to blend into some of the questions. We're going to teach you everything about homeowners insurance from the buyer's perspective, the seller's perspective, but also have an insurance agent and a mortgage loan originator, I almost said broker, loan originator here to talk about from their perspectives what you need to do about insurance. So this is going to be a 101 insurance primer.
Lots to get into. You're always welcome to join us toll free at 877-927-6969. As Jim was just talking about, the waterfall of options. If you go to people that are great at what they do, like FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, team of pros, experts in their field. And you hear time and time again on a Saturday, if you're tuning in, about the way they really, really do help people out. And it's not about dollars. The dollars always come. The business follows if you take care of people the right way. Proof's in the pudding. We've seen it for 14 plus years now. But you talk about, pridefulness. And Jim talked about the elderly, the older demographic that are on fixed incomes that seem to be falling into this really troubled waters. Pride is a mother. And really, the older generations are so pride-filled, you probably don't know if they're having issues. If you know somebody that's older, reach out to them, please. Hey, is everything good? Is there anything we can do to help? They may not tell you, but I always tell you to hit the share and like button on the social media, because you never know who's going to see that in your feed, and you can help them change their lives by going to Pros, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Know it, use it, love it, share it. Share away and change lives, including your very own. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. 4-minute break. We're back at it. Lots of information on insurance, y'all. Let's go. Saturday, Florida Talk Real Estate, right here on Real Radio.
What's a Real Radio podcast? It's Real Radio on demand. Find your favorite show at realradio921.com. Real Radio weather.
I'm meteorologist Charlotte Carl with CBS 12 News. Partly cloudy skies continue, but that doesn't stop temperatures from climbing. We'll be in the low and middle 80s for your afternoon highs along the coastline. Middle and upper 80s the closer you get to the lake. We are going to see mostly dry conditions for the rest of the day today, a little bit warmer tomorrow.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Springfest is back at Lowe's. Shop select bags of decorative rock, 2 for $12, and select one-pipe annuals for $2. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Komarinetz, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Yeah, you can do it. 877-927-6969. In fact, you're cordially invited if you'd like to be a part of the program. We're live on this 18th day of April, a couple days away from the 20th day of April. It's a bit of a national holiday for many of us.
20th of April.
Hopefully you'll be celebrating. Johnny C, that's me. Jimothy, how are you, my dude?
Doing mighty fine. Good morning, gentlemen. Happy to be here.
Good morning. Always good to see you, my
Good to
friend.
see you too, bud.
If you're not comfortable calling in on the radio, always remember you have access to the entire team, not just the folks in the studio, but the entire Florida Talk Real Estate team at floridatalkrealestate.com. Like Mike Rao, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm.
Good morning.
Hi. Like Ross Komarinetz with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. What's up, Ross?
You know that's right, man.
My dude. Or Jimmy D over there, our fearless leader. Mike, you didn't get your glasses.
You know, I didn't realize everyone was doing that. I thought you were going to get your clear glasses.
I did get them.
Yeah. Did I put those on?
I was gonna. And then Ross kind of highlighed it. He's like, wait a minute.
Jim's got
Yeah,
his.
Jim's got his now. So I went back
Jimmy?
to it.
Just me and Jimothy.
I'm not on camera, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, I could run out and get them real quick.
You should
Probably do that.
Yeah, it's just one of those days. Jimmy D, Jim DePolo with the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. Sweet Ray-Bans, man.
Yeah, these are. It was talking Spanish to me a second ago. I had
was
to figure out
translating.
how to use it. Oh, it's recording everything we're doing right now. It's
That's
video
forcing us.
recording us right now.
Does it always
I have
do
to
that?
Shut it off. No, I have to shut it off.
Well, now you got a different perspective for the YouTube.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can put the Jimmy D perspective.
Yeah, let me see here.
I think I need to
pretty
get some of those glasses. Is the video quality
Good. It's
decent?
good.
It's
Yeah.
1080. It isn't like 4K. It's 1080.
Oh, they have 4K though, don't they? I've watched 4K video recorded through glasses on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm sorry. What did you just say?
They have 4K, don't they?
You should just
Yeah, they
ask
do.
your
Couldn't hear
glasses
you
to
because
play
it's
it back.
translating to Spanish.
It was
Translate
talking to me.
this, and
It
everything's
was
going to
talking to me.
Spanish for
I
me.
gotta take these off because it's talking.
Let me wear them, Jim.
So a lot of shows or artists that don't like cameras out. One in particular I watch a lot of is Tool.
Yeah.
By the way, happy belated birthday, Maynard James
There
Keenan,
you go.
and my grandmother. I love you very
Huge
much.
fan of
Ah.
the show.
He is a big fan. They don't care for cameras out because it's, let's go on this journey together. And you can all
It's a private moment in public.
you can all bust out your camera for the last song, but otherwise, keep them down and let's all go on this trip together. Those are the way around it. And I've watched a handful of videos, different venues recorded, and they do a great job
They
recording.
do pretty good
Pick up
job.
good audio. Too.
I was actually, they do. I
Yeah.
was actually trying to use them for my walkthroughs on the houses,
That'd be great.
right? Like
Very useful.
just move my head around.
Yeah.
And it works out okay. Oh, you turned it on, Mike. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
You turned the
Jim
video
on,
on.
Mike.
Yeah,
I didn't
did.
just want
Turned the video
sunglasses.
on.
I wanted to
I
like
had to get
try them
moved.
out. You turned them off before you gave them to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you want
I
to do?
wanted to hear it like talking to me.
Yeah, why did you give them back to me then?
It'll do it to you.
Just
wasn't
take
doing
it
anything.
back and say, "Hey, Meta, where am I right now?"
Where am I right
Yeah, I think it'll say you're in a radio station. I think it's going to do that.
now?
Okay.
So you
Can
got
you
to
hear any noise? Like you should hear something on your right hand side. Hit the bar like this. No, that's filming it. Yeah, do that. Now you're making the volume go up and down.
Do you see anything happening while you're
No,
Say,
no,
hey,
visual.
Meta. Say,
Molesting?
hey,
Hey,
Meta.
Meta, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I'm not even sure if it's on.
It should be on.
Maybe,
Try
maybe
again.
we
Anyway, I'll
do
have to
this
show
off
you
the
during
air.
the break. Yeah, I'll show
Off
you
the
during
air,
the break.
Johnny.
Oh, I don't know. I
So-
understand.
This is this is really good radio.
It's like
I know
he's
this
like,
is
touch
great
the
radio. We're
bar.
talking about visual stuff on the radio.
I think-
Really great.
This is Mike on the radio. It is.
Where's the bar? Which bar, Jim?
Huh?
Up top?
That's for
That's for
recording. That's recording.
So turn that back off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
Okay, I'll do
Maybe
it
it
after the
doesn't know
break.
my voice.
We'll do it after the break. Or during the break. Okay, so I wanted to go over insurance because I've been dealing with a lot of older houses lately, Ross, and I wanted to get a primer for myself also, but I felt it would be really good for everybody else. So I want to talk about just basic insurance, and then later I want to talk about some of the things that you just sent me because some of that questions were great. So when you buy a house, for realtors' perspective, you don't need to have an inspection on the house if you don't want to. Somebody could buy a house and not have any inspection. But if you're getting a loan, Mike, do you have to have an inspection, a whole house inspection?
No,
You don't have to have any inspection at all.
correct.
As long as you can get insurance, then you're okay, right?
So you do have to get insurance,
Right?
and insurance will often require some inspection, some level of inspection. But yeah, that's not required. We do require insurance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the mortgage company is going to require insurance. So Ross, if I didn't want to do an inspection on the house, can I do that and get insurance?
Depends on the year the house was built.
So let's say it's 1980 or older. Just throwing out a year.
You're probably going to need at least a 4-point inspection. There may be a company that will say, hey, we won't require an upfront inspection, but we're going to inspect the house.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't get a wind mitigation report, you will pay double what you should.
Okay, and we're going to talk about those two other types of inspections just a little bit. So with the whole house inspection, I call it the whole house inspection because I don't know what else to call it, because we're going to talk about two other
to
types of
differentiate.
inspection.
Yeah.
So the whole house inspection, when somebody's hiring an inspection company to do that, it should be looking at the electrical, the plumbing, everything in the house. Are there torn screens on the window screens? Do the windows operate? Do you have any moisture coming into the house through the walls or the windows? Is the roof in good condition? Do you have any bugs in the house?
Yeah.
Infestations, foundation issues.
Yep.
Even the grading of the land outside. I've seen it before where the grading of the land kind of
Going towards the house.
instead of away, and
Yeah.
they bring that up in the report. If there's a cracked tile on the floor, they're going to put that in there if they see it. They're going to do all of that stuff.
Yes, I think the home inspection best case scenario is some sort of like honey-do list for things like you should probably, be aware of and maybe want to take care of, put on like your list of things to tackle, all the way to like major issues that were not obvious, but would either impact whether you're moving forward to buy the home, could be a showstopper potentially, or something that you want to negotiate with the seller because it's a problem you weren't aware of. Maybe they weren't aware of it, and now it's come to light, and you got to figure something out. You still want to buy it, but you need some. It's going to be costly to fix.
Mm-hmm.
I tell everybody the full home inspection gives you every single reason why you should not buy that house.
I don't say that. Jim,
That's
do
what
you
I say
that?
to them because
Do you say that, Jim?
Joe, because they'll say, "Can I send you that? Can I send you that? Hey, I didn't have a 4-point done. I had the home inspected. Can I send you that?" And I said, "No, because if I send that to the insurance company, they're going to look at because that home inspection tells you every single thing that is wrong with the house."
Yeah, that's
Ross is a licensed real estate agent, but I looked at his stats and I didn't see too many closed deals.
No,
Ross,
Because of that.
It's like been slow. Yeah,
It's been slow.
We get to the inspection, and then all of a sudden they're like,
what's the name of your insptor, Ross? Dr. No?
Yeah. Ross looks at the
But
inspection.
at the end of the day, like that is, hey,
Yeah.
Ain't right.
So
I like that. It's a certain personality could take that advice for what it is, which is like, hey, this is just a very thorough list of, potential issues with this home that you should know about.
but I mean, maybe somebody doesn't want to deal with pipes. Like, hey, this, this thing drips a little. I don't want to inherit a problem. That's why I frame it that way. And that is your get out of the contract card.
Yeah.
As well.
Before we get into wind, mid, and 4-point, I just want to bring up one other thing. So I've been dealing with a lot of these really older homes lately, 70 years old, 80 years old. So I've been recommending that the customers do what I call the camera scope, the sewer scope, to make sure that the sewage pipes are good, because
It's old.
yeah, most of that stuff is cast iron, and some of it could be, I'm not positive this, but I remember in the county they had clay vitrified pipes. They called it clay vitrified, which was before cast iron.
Oh.
And you do not want to have a sewage cast iron problem in your house because it's very expensive to fix.
And it's smelly.
Yeah, it's a sticky job, right? It's a sticky situation. But so usually you have to pay extra for that. And I always tell the sellers, the buyers, that it's really smart for you to do that because you don't want to have a problem later. Just like if you have a septic tank in the property, you really want to check the septic tank and drain field before you buy the house, because that could be a super big ticket item if you have a problem. Ross, do you have any perspective of all those sewer scopes or anything like that? Like, do you have any insight on that or anything? You might not. I'm just asking. Okay.
No.
So let's move over to 4-point and wind mitt. Without going into great details of each of them, what is the difference between a 4-point inspection and a wind mitt inspection?
A wind mitigation report allows you to qualify for discounts on the wind or hurricane portion of the premium, because you've got, in Florida, we do have hurricanes, which is a different deductible and a different rating. So the wind mitigation report allows you to qualify for discounts on that part of the policy. And the 4-point inspection It looks at the electrical, the AC, the plumbing, and the roof, and it tells the insurance company, hey, those things are either have been updated or they're in good working order. And so that's where you find out your eligibility problems, like the breaker boxes, the hot water heater's too old, the roof only has 2 years of life left.
See, that might get people confused. So the wind mitt, does the wind mitt include the roof? Because the 4-point tells you the useful age. The
wind mitigation report just tells you, as far as the roof covering goes, like shingles, it just tells you what type of roof is on there and the year that the roof is put on. Then it looks at the inside and it looks like how the roof is attached, how the roof is actually nailed on top of the trusses. Then it looks at whether there's a secondary water barrier underneath, looks at the shape of the roof, and then it looks at if there's any hurricane shutters or impact glass.
What's a secondary water barrier?
That's like a little thing that they put underneath the shingles between the plywood and like whatever, if you've got shingles or tile, that's in between.
Like a waterproof membrane.
Yeah.
It's like a sticky waterproof membrane that I think replaces the felt that you used to put down. Remember, you used to roll the felt and
Sure.
they did the
That's
silver
the
tin
image I
tabs.
have.
Yeah.
You can put an extra barrier down,
Mhm.
like a membrane.
And you get substantial savings from that?
Not substantial, but,
No, but-
you get something.
Piece
So
of
you
mind,
still
$100
nail
bucks.
through it, right?
You do.
The
Yeah,
shingles are
it's
still
funny. You
nailed
still
through it.
nail through
But I
it.
guess it's meant to seal.
Yeah,
when
it
you do
seals
that.
itself. It's
So-
a self-sealing.
So Ross, you said Jim, one of his opening questions was, can you get insurance without these inspections? And I think what you just said was the wind mitt specifically is about reducing. So that means like for any home, the wind coverage, they'll have like a base amount, right? Like, okay, this home in this area with this style of roof is going to be this amount. But if you have these features, you're going to reduce that premium. So you're discounting the premium based on the, like how well your home's going to hold up, right?
Right.
In a hurricane event.
Right.
Okay. So how the roof is attached, whether the windows have storm, have shutter protection.
Yeah, you don't need a wind mitigation report ever.
Is there a difference
If you want to
between
just pay
the,
the max,
well,
like, here's your offer.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike, and I have a question.
is there a difference between like storm rated windows and shutters, like the old panel style shutters, or maybe even the clamshell style?
So it has to be a Miami-Dade rated, has to have a certain rating to qualify. So typically on the shutter, like a metal shutter or the clamshell, if it's a clamshell that does work or qualify, there'll be a rating that's engraved into the metal, or there's a sticker on. Usually, there's kind of a sticker on those ones that that you slide, the accordions.
Do you
And
get
then the windows
I'm
usually
sorry.
have an etching, like an etching in the bottom of the window.
is there any difference? Let's say you have your whole house covered in panels and it's completely covered correctly, or you have the whole house covered in accordion shutters
Just the
completely
window.
correctly, or
Not the whole
impact
house.
window everywhere completely covered. Will there be any difference in the discount for any of those three products, or you get the same amount because
Yeah.
it's completely covered?
There's no different discount for impact rated glass. There's no different discount for shutters. There's no additional discount if you've got impact rated glass and shutters. It's all just one discount.
Okay, so as long as you have the whole house covered, you're covered. Basically, that's the discount.
Yeah, and that's important. All of the glass
right.
covered.
So here's things that always screw everything up. Your garage door, right? A garage door, sometimes they're not impact resistant, or they have the glass lights at the top on the top section.
So
like
typically, as
a
long as
side
light. They're not
the
covered.
garage if the garage door is solid and it's not impact rated, unless you're in like Dade or Broward, you're gonna get that's not gonna hurt you. Where it does hurt you is when that garage is not impact rated, but it's got decorative glass in it,
Mhm.
or if your front door isn't impact rated and it's got decorative glass in it.
Yeah, like a
Or
side
or
light on a
side
door,
light, or a side light
Right.
on the
Or a lot of the
doors.
times those little glass blocks, those glass block
Uh-oh.
windows,
Yeah.
Decorative,
Those have to
that'll
be
get
covered.
you. Yeah.
Those things are blocks, though. They're solid.
We did it at
They're
our
popular.
old house.
They're
Wow.
popular
Yeah,
you had
for
to
a
put
long
them up.
time.
Now, another one, skylights.
Yeah.
Yeah, skylights will get you. I'm always super surprised when I see somebody who's not getting the opening protection credit and I see that they've got skylights and they are rated. I'm like, oh man, that's the hardest one to get. And you had like a little piece in your front door entrance, decorative glass that's causing you to get that.
Right, 'cause
Usually
it's
it's a
like
skylight.
one window that's not covered. That'll take away the whole
That's right. Yeah.
That's a little ridiculous. We need to investigate.
So with the wind mitt, let's say you have a house that has no protection at all. There's no panels. Everything's just like a regular house, and there's just nothing there because it's an old home and nobody ever put them on.
You're going to put up plywood if a storm comes.
Yeah, like that kind of thing, right? You're screwing in plywood into your wood frame house or something.
Yep.
Versus same age house, like we're talking older homes here, Russ. Same age house has full protection. What is the difference usually on a policy? Are we talking $1,000 a year or $500 a year or $3,000 a year? Like, is there? I know it's hard because every house is different,
Right.
but
It's
just
hard-
in general.
it depends on how far, east you are, because, like in Jacksonville, half the times they don't even get wind mitigation reports because it only saves $100 because they're not in a very high prone area. But down here, obviously the further east you are, if you have opening protection, that's going to be a bigger discount than if you were in a home, out in Loxahatchee.
Is it a big enough discount that if that's all you're worried about, you're not worried about protecting your home, to go ahead and protect your home?
No, because windows, impact windows are like 10 grand a piece, right? They're super expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you'll probably, again, depending, it could be as significant as 3,000, or, big number, but it's probably in that $1,000, it's hard to.
So if
put
it's
an
costing you
accurate number on
$10,000 to put all the windows in, and you're saving $1,000 on the savings,
You're not,
in 10 years.
you're not doing it to save money this year.
Okay. That's really important.
Ross said 10,000 a piece.
No, it's not 10,000
10
a piece.
grand.
No, it's not.
Ooh.
No, not
Seems
quite
a little
that
high.
much, but it depends on what kind of you got a double slider or
Yeah, if
something.
you got a double slider.
Oh,
that's,
yeah, they could be really
In my
expensive.
living room, we have a huge window. It takes the whole
Oh, yeah,
wall
the backyard one? Oh, the
No,
front.
the front.
The front one.
with two big sliders on the sides. That and the sliders in my bedroom and in our other living, those were expensive.
Yeah.
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 But
they are.
I'll tell you where the savings comes in your electric bill.
Yeah.
Well, man,
Yeah.
the difference between the draft in our older windows versus these. Oh my
You had
goodness.
free air conditioning.
Also, the benefit of a nice kind of like heavy, well-built slider versus a cheap slider,
Doesn't feel
just
good.
as far as quality of life,
Yeah.
that's really big.
And I know, and there's a peace of mind for break-ins, etc.
Yeah.
When a storm's coming, you're standing there watching it. It's weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I always
I
thought
love
about
that.
that. Like the glass will still break; it just won't allow
Entry.
It'll crack.
penetration.
It won't. Right. It won't
It's kind of like a
penetrate. It'll only
film that
crack.
stops the.
Right. Right.
So I'm like, but don't you would still want to cover your window, right? If you're worried about debris cracking your glass.
That's why I feel like impact windows are also great for security too, because you could take a baseball bat and try to slam into
Yeah.
that window. You're not getting in.
No,
Yeah.
they're not getting in through a window. They, one of the entry doors, which are hurricane rated as well, but that's going to be your
It's
best
going to
bet.
be the best bet, right?
Yeah.
But so the thing is what you were asking about.
whether they break or not.
Yeah. So like Danny's house, just to bring it up, when she put the impact windows in, she also had accordion shutters, and she told them to leave the accordion shutters. So she has impact and accordion shutters.
Yeah.
Which I like that idea in a way, because that way you could protect the impact window, so
The
you don't have
expensive
to
window.
replace it. Yeah, the expensive window that you don't have to. But I wouldn't buy accordion shutters and impact them. That's
Right. If
like
you
a
have
little
them
bit of
anyway,
overkill.
leave them on, I
Yeah,
guess.
you're being a little OCD at that point. But okay, now 4 point. Okay, so that's wind mitt. Now 4 point. What are the 4 points?
Electrical, AC, plumbing, roof.
Okay, now because I'm being dense here, what's the difference between the 4 point for the roof versus the wind mitigation for the roof?
The on the wind mitigation report, it's just looking at discounts. It doesn't take into account the actual quality or integrity of the roof.
Oh, not the useful life and things like that.
Right. It just looks at, hey, what kind of roof is on here? What's the age? How's it put on? What's the shape of it? Does it have the secondary water barrier?
I just recently did 4 point, and the report from a 4 point is thorough.
Yeah.
Yeah, pictures of all up on your roof, different angles of your roof. I mean, yeah, it is thorough.
They've gotten very specific on those. They want to see a picture of all 4 slopes of the roof. They want close-ups. They want to make sure there's no lifting, missing shingles or cracked tiles. Like if there's a cracked tile on a 4-point, you got to get that fixed.
That's
They
really
pointed
The
out.
4-point is about whether the home is even insurable or not.
Yeah, it's an
versus
eligibility.
Okay.
so things that would hurt the 4-point. Let's not for the roof. It would be useful life, right? If they don't have enough useful life, which we'll get into in just a little bit.
Yeah, and they'll have
Useful
pictures
life.
of it, like all the granulation,
Granulation.
pictures of that, the edges, like Ross said. I mean, there must have been 10 pictures of my
Yeah.
roof on that report.
Now,
So is your roof good?
so
Nice. It's a good feeling.
so
Right?
besides the roof, for electric, it's usually, to me, it seems like if you have knob and tube wiring, if you have one of those electrical panels that have aluminum wiring in it, those are all like negative things that might make the house not insurable, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. So cloth wiring, right? If you have cloth wiring like the 1950s
No, I mean, we can
stuff,
get insurance. It just limits carriers.
it limits
Not
the
a lot of
carriers.
carriers. like it.
Massively, right?
Okay, but carriers don't like that stuff.
Yeah, they don't like cloth wiring. They don't like aluminum wiring, knob and tube.
So you're like all citizens at that point?
There's a couple carriers that say, oh, if it's braided cloth, or some carriers will accept the aluminum as long as it's been, whatever, it's only in the one section, or if it's got the Alumicon connect, it's been remediated,
But a couple other options at least. Because remember, folks, Citizens is supposed to be the insurer of last choice, like last resort. This is the emergency net.
Which it's getting
not
there.
not to
And
insure everybody in the
It's
state.
getting back to normal
Yeah,
like the
right.
way it's supposed to be. Now, with the plumbing, Ross, the only thing I can think of for plumbing would be polybutylene pipes. But what else? But what else?
Water heater.
Water heater, does the hot, how old's a hot water heater? Does
water
it have a
heater.
TPR valve?
Mhm.
Are there leaks?
What do they
Yeah,
give you typically for a hot water heater? Like 15 years max?
It depends on the carrier. 15 is kind of my earliest. I have some carriers that go to 18, then they go to 20, and then I've got carriers that say, hey, as long as it's in good shape.
And I've heard in the industry like 10 years is your expected life on a water heater, which is interesting.
Yeah,
There's,
I mean,
there's a lot of things people don't really maintain their water heaters, and I think there's things that you can do regularly to kind of keep it in shape. But most people go stop heating the water, regardless of the problem. They're like swapping
Yeah,
it
you're
out.
supposed to drain the water every once in a while. and
There's
clean
it builds
the
up
tank.
sediment at the bottom.
It
There's
builds up-
anodes in there.
Yeah,
there's
the
also
anodes.
heating.
I don't know
heating
if I do it enough. I've done it 3 times.
Have you?
since
Really?
I moved it. Yeah, you run the hose out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
3
Well,
times.
that's good that you did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Most people don't do that.
Wait, but did you scoop out the solids?
I did not go that far.
Oh,
yeah.
see?
No, but and replaced a couple of the lines just to keep them fresh,
Yeah.
They make kits too that you could where the drain is on the bottom. You can
Mhm.
replace that, and you can put a kit on there where it'll help flush the
Yeah, it
water
gets the
around
solids moving
bottom,
around,
and,
yeah.
like you said, gets the sediment out,
Yep.
which is what rots the tank out.
Yeah,
And
sure
that's
will.
the problem. You know,
Yep.
that, and of course the anodes, you replace those on some sort of regular basis. It'll help.
Yep.
You know,
And the heating elements.
And the elements. That's
Mhm.
right. Yep.
Now, with what about things like lead-based paint, mold, those kind of inspections? Does that affect you at all as an insurance person, or you as a lender? Any of those things matter to your professions of trying to get insurance or the loan?
The only time it would ever come up for me from a lending perspective is if the appraiser notes something about it. And that could apply for any of these issues we just talked about. So if they see active roof leaks, if they see damaged windows, maybe windows that don't open and close, if they see obvious electrical problems. So appraisers are not inspectors, right? They're not professionals in the trades, but they are meant to look at some of these things and make notes if they think it's something that should be repaired and it affects the value or the health, I guess, whether it's safe or not to live in the home, then it could come up on the appraisal. So something like lead-based paint. What was the other one that you mentioned?
Mold.
Yeah, mold. If they see these things, active water intrusion, whether it's from the roof or from plumbing, they may note some of that. But that's the only time it would come up for us. If the appraiser says it, or if it's blatantly spelled out in contracts, like if you're the buyer's agent and you say, hey guys, we're going to take care of this mold that we see in the bathroom and we're going to do a mold inspection to check the rest of the house, and that's part of your contract, well, then underwriting is going to say, hey, we want to see the results of that investigation or that inspection.
How about you, Ross? What about those inspection inspection reports
No,
for
I just
that
went
doesn't
in for a
affect-
point. Yeah,
Okay.
and because if there's mold, it's going to be probably notated in the plumbing section.
Is there ever a reason that you would do a wind mitt if you have like no hurricane panels on the house?
Absolutely, that's only one question.
Right. That's the
You
answer.
want to get a wind mitigation report. I mean, right now, if you don't know, just get a wind mitigation report. Have
And
it
it
done.
isn't that much, right? It's like
No.
usually $100,
100,
right?
150 bucks.
Yeah, 100, 150.
Is there any time that mold could be a good thing?
I mean, I guess if you're trying to
Jeez.
develop an antibiotic.
It can be
Oh, there
if
we
you're
go.
a buyer and you want a discount on the house.
Listen, we got mold, but we actually kind of like it.
yeah,
for this reason.
we like this mold.
Right.
Hey, Magali, who's one of our favorite listeners, comes in every
Regulars.
Saturday. I really appreciate that, Magali. She had a question about what about insurance for mobile homes?
So we actually.
That's the second rule of Fight Club, I think.
I mean, they're different. It's kind of the same policy. Just a lot of the times, the structure itself is covered at actual cash value versus replacement cost. But other than that,
So let's talk
they
about
don't get wind mitigation credits.
let's talk about actual cash value versus replacement cost in your policy. Could you just explain what that actual means?
So replacement cost is if you have damage to something and it's covered under your policy, you get to replace that damaged item, whether it's your actual home burns down and you get to, you get paid to replace that home, or if your couch burned up in a fire, you get to go get a new couch.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Magali's last question is Ross hungover?
The sunglasses.
Because of the sunglasses. That's what she wanted to
That's
know. I
funny.
said, no, we're having a running bit right now, but thank you, Magali.
Call back.
Yeah. There were a bunch of questions you sent me that I thought it was,
there was a recent change with the actual cash value as it relates to
Oh, yeah. What's
lending.
it?
So Fannie and Freddie. So essentially, I guess the home itself. I guess there's two components, Ross. You have the dwelling coverage, which is the coverage on the home itself, and then you have personal property. That's right, just personal property.
Right, your stuff.
Right, like your contents. Ross, you've said like if you pick up the home and turn it over, whatever falls out, that's your stuff.
Right.
And the other part is the property. And so your home, the dwelling always had to be replacement cost, right? Meaning if you had a total, loss, they would have to come in and rebuild a new home, right? You can't give somebody a used value on that. And it's based on the cost that you guys kind of calculate to rebuild a home from foundation up, right? Essentially. And the roof included in that. Like you couldn't insure a roof at less than what it takes to replace it with a brand new roof, just like the rest of the home. But the insurance world, because of premiums and because of affordability, they have an option where you can insure your roof at less than replacement cost. You're insuring at actual cash value. So your 20-year-old roof.
Right, and that only applied to hurricane damage. Not.
Okay, so not for everything. So basically, if a storm came through and ripped off your roof, but it's a 20-year-old shingle roof, you're not going to get. It's not insured enough to replace it with a new roof. You're basically going to get used value. So that wasn't allowed in the world of in lending, Fannie and Freddie. But they came out recently and they said, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's some lobby got to them or they just realized it was a problem, affordability problem. They're saying, hey, you can insure a roof at the used cost now. Like it's optional to do that. Seems like a terrible idea.
It does.
But if you're cost conscious, and I don't know, Ross, like, are you even doing that? Number one, because it seems like something you probably wouldn't push.
So we were not doing it at all before Fannie Freddie changed it.
Because you couldn't.
You couldn't. But I mean, and we would see people getting quotes from people with actual cash value, and we'd be like, well, you can't do that. The mortgage company's not going to allow it. So we never, we'd always highlight, hey, your roof is covered at full replacement cost.
Yeah.
So since Fannie and Freddie made that change on our budget quote, if it makes a significant difference, then we'll say, hey, we'll point it out. The roof is covered at actual cash value.
Here's an option.
And
Don't
again, these aren't
recommend
either
it.
or, right? These are just starting points. And so we're going to give you, hey, this is full coverage. And hey, this is, there's coverage there, but it satisfies your mortgage. You're good to go.
Yeah.
We can make it even worse. but we don't want to.
Hey.
That's not where we want to go.
You know, it's funny. I see quotes from, different agents, like not just Ross, right? So I see how other people present their stuff. And one of the key distinctions with Ross, which I think makes him stand out, is he's talking like what he just said. We'll do a budget option. Well, he's actually presenting you several different options for the same home with different configurations to land you at different price points, but he's explaining it, right?
Mhm.
It's on that. It's not just a conversation, which I think a lot of insurance agents just get by with, like, oh, yeah, we're going to do it, and they're talking about it. Then all of a sudden you have no reference points. You have nothing that you can like go to and say, hey, let me ask a follow-up on this thing. It's just kind of like put out there and like, hey, here's my best. And all of a sudden you get a low quote, and that's the shiny object, right? Like the premium is really low. Oh, that's a shiny object, but you have no idea what kind of shortcuts you took in order to get there. Now,
How many people know how to read a declarations page? Or read a quote and understand what's on there.
I
it's
always
just a bunch
call.
of
It's like read
letters
tell me
and
in
numbers.
English what this means.
What is this?
And I think so sometimes you may like consciously want to take those shortcuts. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe you just need super low number to get in there the first year, and then you're going to switch it up and get, but you should at least know,
Yeah.
like, how many people get a quote, and if there's actual cash value on a roof and nobody tells that to you, you just, it's up to you to read the fine print on that, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, but it's guaranteed going to be happening more and more because now it's allowed.
Yeah.
So what is not covered when you get a homeowner insurance? Is everything, no matter what happens in life, is it covered?
No, I mean, homeowners insurance is designed for sudden and accidental damage. So, one of the biggest things I think that people are that don't know is, flood insurance isn't covered. That's a completely separate policy. If you get a bee infestation in your roof, that's not covered. Rats, vermin, things like that, those aren't covered. But kind of most everything that you could think of that is sudden and accidental damage.
Oh, so if you have a raccoon, nesting or whatever, and they've gotten through your fascia and they're in your roof and they're damaging your
Maybe they fall through the
insulation.
soffit or something. They fall through
that wouldn't be covered at all.
No.
Oh, interesting.
And then flood, of course. Now let's talk about flood insurance. Is the other type of
Gerbils too,
insurance.
Johnny.
So with flood insurance,
Thank you.
what
Get
we
this out
always
of that
used to
toilet
say
paper roll.
was flood insurance is expensive when you have to have it, but when you don't have to have it and you buy it, it's always cheaper. And back in the day, it used to be, I used to say it was only like when we got it, when we lived in Wellington, it was only like $350 to $400 a year, like $1 a day. But now I think it's closer to $3 a day.
No, I mean, we do a lot of flood policies for $450.
Oh, you still do
Yeah.
them?
I
Okay.
think we talked about that the other week, and I looked up a recent quote from Ross, and it was something like $567 or something.
Yeah. So if you don't have to have it because you're in a flood zone, but you want to have flood coverage,
Peace of
it's
mind.
very inexpensive, relatively speaking, and it gives you a lot of protection for that. But when you are in a flood zone, how much difference is the price, Ross, when you, and Mike, maybe you know this as the lender, but how much difference can it be between being in the flood zone and not in the flood zone?
If I were guessing, Ross, you can test my estimate. I would put an estimate around $1,500 for the year. If you're in like an AE, 500. What is that?
I mean, that's a tough one to really
It's
answer.
case by case.
We just did one with no elevation certificate, and it was $2,400.
Huh.
It was an AE, and
You
that
still
one
need
was
an
20.
elevation cert? I thought you didn't need that anymore.
You don't need it, but sometimes it
helps.
can help. Sometimes it can help.
Is
What-
1,500? Because some of the times, and maybe this is like you're testing your lending professional. I basically have to guess on insurance.
All the time.
I have to put a number even before I know where you're looking or what you're looking at or what zones you're looking. So I kind of have to have a feel for accounting and kind of what's a reasonable, what I think is achievable or an attainable number. So on the flood, is 1,500 attainable for most circumstances? Because you do have a little latitude on deductibles if it comes down to it. Like you can take
Yeah, I
pretty
mean,
high
that's not a
deductible.
bad number to do because, you can exclude, personal property or something like that to get it down at somewhere close to that,
Okay.
if you needed to. And then Also, on if you're approaching DTI issues, you could also play with the homeowner's insurance to overcome that too.
Yeah.
Debt to income on the loan. Let me ask you this. I just had this really unusual experience for me, and I don't think it's that uncommon. But I was looking at a house in the acreage, and when I looked at the IMAP and it said the type of zone it was in for flood zone, it said X, which is the good one, means that you're not in the flood zone. But then it said AE, which means part of this property was on the flood zone. So I didn't know we were at the upper limit of the price that the buyers could afford, and I didn't know if the flood insurance was going to push them over the limit that they couldn't afford the house. So then I called up,
and it very easily could, right? If I've got you quoted at a certain insurance number and we're not accounting for flood, well, if I have to throw in $1,500 or even $2,000 on top of that, that changes your payment significantly and could certainly put you over your limit.
So you really have to worry about that as you're going into the deal. So in order to protect my buyers before we turn in the offer and everything, I called up Ross's office and I was talking to Corey at first. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Corey M.
Michaelis.
Okay. Yeah, Michaelis. And he was great. He helped out so much, and he was very fast and on top of his game, just like everybody at Ross's office.
That's right.
And he got me a lot of information, but then somehow you got on the phone too, and we had a conference call between the three of us. And what I saw on the map, they actually pulled up the flood zone maps that they used to determine for insurance. So out in the acreage, we're on an acre or larger lot usually. All the houses are built on a higher pad, sometimes as high as 10 feet above the level or whatever. So you have the house, and then your land is usually lower than the pad for the house.
Yeah, it slopes out.
And it slopes down right away from the house. And when you looked at the flood zone for this lot, the house was okay, but it was like a moat of flood zone all around the property. And he wanted to build a structure on the property later. That's one of the reasons why he wants to be out there. He wants to build a secondary building. So I was like, A, are you allowed to build something in the flood zone, right? Can you put a structure there? And B, can you insure it? And what I think I found out is that you can build something there. The building department probably will allow you to do that, but they're going to probably make you lift the pad up.
Yeah, you do the
for
same
that
thing you
property
did on the house.
that you did on the house. But I don't know if it would be insurable. Would that be insurable? Like if you lifted it to the same size?
It'd be insurable if you didn't lift it. You just pay more for it.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, I mean, you can always.
You can
when you-
insure
so-
it even if you're building in the flood zone. You can still get insurance.
Mhm.
I
But
did
I mean,
not know
typically that, when you're getting flood insurance,
Mhm.
that policy is for that structure, right? So if you have a guest house on the property and you buy flood insurance, unless you buy two policies,
Oh,
you're only buying a policy for that structure, right?
that's really interesting. So if you had three buildings on there, you'd need three policies.
If you wanted them covered. But
Right.
the mortgage company typically is only going to make you cover the house.
that was going to come out to my next question. So Mike, if somebody has a property where they built something, but it's in the flood zone and it wasn't built up on the pad,
Right.
would you be able to get a loan for that house anyway?
You can get a loan. The question is whether flood insurance is required or not. So if the property is in a flood zone that requires homeowners insurance, and if the structure we're talking about is considered the home, so like a mother-in-law suite for our purposes would be part of the home, right? Because it's assuming it's like zoned with 2 unit, something like that. So if any of the structures in a flood zone that requires insurance, then you can get the loan as long as you have the flood insurance.
But what happens if you had a house that was not in the flood zone?
But another structure was. So it would depend on whether it was like what Ross would qualify as other structures or if it qualifies as the home itself.
I see.
So
So let's
is
say
that-
this is other structure.
Then we don't care about other structures.
You
So
don't
if you had
care.
like a detached,
Let's say a metal
garage
building.
or-
Yeah, like a metal building
yeah,
or
exactly.
something like
so
that.
that's not really that is not the security for the loan. What we care about is what's securing the loan, which would be the primary structure.
Okay.
But if you had an in-law suite
Mhm.
that was part of the property and was part of the real estate value of the home and all of that, then that would also have to be.
You mean like a mother-in-law suite that was an addition to the main house?
No, it'd have to be detached because if it was an
Detached.
addition, it'd be included.
It'd be included in the main part of the house. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what do you think is going to happen with this accessory dwelling unit stuff? Because this is going to become a thing, guys. This trend, they're passing laws all over the country right now for what's called accessory
ADUs,
dwelling units,
yeah.
ADUs. And what that means is basically a
mother-in-law.
mother-in-law.
An efficiency apartment, something like that.
My buddy put the container home in his backyard.
Did they just
It's
do
awesome.
it?
Nice.
It's awesome.
I want to go
bet.
see. I'd love to go
I
see
love
that
it
if
too.
you don't mind, because I'm looking into those kind of things.
Did he use a 20-footer or a 40-footer?
The 20.
Okay. All right.
I saw something on Facebook or TikTok or something. I don't do TikTok, so it must have been Facebook. But they took 4 of those containers
Mm-hmm.
and they dug out a hole and they buried the containers
Made a pool.
and they made a pool in the middle of it. And then all the windows you can
I
see
saw that.
the windows. You can see the pool because that's your
You
outside.
saw a video of that?
Yeah.
I think that was AI. I think I saw the same
You
thing.
think it was AI?
Yeah.
Because then I started thinking those structures probably can't handle the water pressure.
They made one wall of the container a window. And so there was like 4 containers around a central pool where your window looked into the pool area.
Yeah.
Right? Or the
Yeah.
water.
So that was AI.
I think that's
I think it
fake.
might
Well,
have been
those,
AI.
things,
'cause
those things aren't super weight bearing. Like you can't bury.
Yeah, I
those
don't
things.
think so. Yeah,
there's
'cause it'll get deteriorated over time.
Engineering
Yeah.
that's involved.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember Star Trek 4. But you remember Scotty gave him the formula for transparent aluminum?
I don't remember that.
Computer?
You remember?
Computer?
Yeah. The one where they came
Talking
back for
into
the
the ground.
whales in San Francisco, they had to get a whale.
All right.
And so in order to contain the whale, they needed something that could hold all the water back. And they couldn't figure out what was strong enough. And Scotty's like, well, how about transparent aluminum? And he gave them the molecular, formula for it. And that's how they saved the whale and brought it, back to space or whatever.
That's right, because whales are aliens.
And octopus too.
So
They're aliens.
those are real aliens,
Those are
I think.
aliens, yeah.
How about dwelling coverage? I mean, not dwelling coverage, but stuff coverage. Okay. Mike is trying to determine the value of the insurance policy to get a loan, right? He doesn't have any idea what the people's stuff is worth and like how that's going to be covered. How does that affect the insurance policy?
I mean, it's a significant coverage. Just kind of like all the coverages are based on the actual dwelling coverage. So that's the main coverage is the dwelling coverage. How much does it cost to rebuild your home? Then the next coverage down is other structures. That's typically, it starts at 2% of the dwelling coverage. Then you've got personal property coverage and the kind of default when you plug in a dwelling coverage, it goes to 50% of the dwelling coverage. So that's kind of where we start for
50% of the dwelling.
So it
premier
scales
quote.
up because the size of the home or the number of rooms are scaling up. And it's like, okay, well, if you got 5 bedrooms, you're going to have
5
this
five
much
furniture.
Yeah.
5 bedroom furniture.
Yeah. So that's kind of the starting point. You can go up or down from there. And typically the lowest that you can go before it becomes excluded is 25% of the dwelling coverage.
I see. Okay.
There are some carriers, there's always a carrier that's doing some outlier thing, that you can get it down to 10% or something like that. But
So if you had
typically the lowest.
a $400,000 dwelling coverage, meaning they calculate it's $400,000 to rebuild your home. The kind of the baseline or the bottom you would go is $100,000 on your personal property, your stuff, or zero.
Zero, typically. Yeah, there are, like I said, there are a couple carriers that do 10%.
And you could do 150 or 200,000.
Right, you can go higher. You can go much higher. Now, in that personal property, there's sublimits for guns. There's sublimits for jewelry. Valuables. Kind of anything that appreciates artwork, antiques. Those things are only typically covered up to like a max of $2,500 total. So if you have any jewelry or artwork, antiques, family heirlooms that have appreciated over time, and you want to make sure those are covered to the value that they're worth now, not just some vase that was bought at Sears 25 years or whatever, 50 years ago, and it's worth nothing, but you have a piece of artwork that it was 100 years old and it's worth 10, whatever.
What
Whatever it
about like Jimothy has like this a collection of vintage magazines? Is that something that you
Got to get a secondary policy.
The ones that, yeah.
I mean, if you can get them appraised and you want them covered, we can get you a policy for it to make sure that they are covered.
Here's
It's a
my
standalone
question,
policy,
though.
right?
Yeah. What would happen if you're getting an extra policy to cover all this extra stuff? Like all of a sudden, one of our customers has a lot of jewelry that, an amazing amount of jewelry that they want covered.
amazing?
And will that affect their approval for the mortgage?
So if they're increasing their insurance cost and we're trying to keep a payment in line for debt to income for qualifying, then I would say, why don't you work that out outside of what we're doing?
Yeah, you wouldn't know. He wouldn't even know about it because we'd be just getting a separate.
Okay,
It's called an inland marine policy.
That's
It's like
what
a
I was
personal
wondering. So
articles
it's a
thing.
kind of a second document.
Voluntary, right? Like it's not.
Right,
We
you
don't
don't
require
have to
it.
do
So
it.
I'm only going to document the insurance coverages that we require.
Right, because
Right.
the lender's probably thinking, I don't care if you have jewelry or not. That's not our business.
Like if somebody's
Exactly.
not in a flood zone and Mike's not requiring flood insurance and the person voluntarily gets it, we don't put the mortgagee clause on there. We don't tell the mortgage company that they have flood insurance.
Yeah.
Like they don't care. The mortgage company doesn't care.
You know what this is all telling me, guys? This is why you need realtors and stuff. Like you need professionals to go all this. There's so many people now thinking, I see this commercial on TV or radio or whatever saying, do you want an agent that's, agent that will sell your house for top dollar? Sign up for our program and the agent will pay you to sell the house, right? And those programs are really designed for agents looking for lead generation, right? That's basically what it's about. They collect the leads and then they sell them to agents. And then they charge the agent to get that lead. And that's how the seller is being paid by the agent to sell the house. And I'm like, we are in a buyer's market right now. It's hard to sell right now. We're in a leaning buyer's market. It's hard to sell things right now. I don't think that realtors are running around offering to pay money to the seller to not at least not an agent that's in production, right? Not an agent that's out there doing it every day. If you're jonesing for work, maybe you desperate, you would do something
What's
like
that number? I need to get my transactions out.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
Jim, you talked on the shout outs, you talked about Danny and the expertise. I mean, the above and beyond expertise and professionalism required. We also, with the other shout out with Colleen and Aaron, like they were very impressed with the professionals that you were able to connect them to, including me, including Ross. They leaned on Ross maybe a little too much, but and they had mentioned several times like, holy cow, this is pretty impressive what you guys got going on. Like they were very impressed with the people that you connected them with. And they were sophisticated. It wasn't the first time they're buying a home. They're, like they had been through this several times and were just like kind of shocked even at the level of help that they were getting, which for us is just like, well, this is what we do. This is what we do all the time.
Right.
How can you do it any other way? It's almost like we actually would think about that and you see it like, how do people do it any other way successfully? Well, you just get lucky, right? Or you just, things go right. When things are going easy, Johnny, it's easy, right?
It's easy.
It's when stuff
goes hard. That's when you really need the pros.
You do.
Just one thing really quick. I want to leave off on a good note. Interest rates, 6.3. Last week, 6.37.
That's right.
So we're sliding back down again. We got all the way to 6.47 or something a couple weeks ago. So we're sliding back down again. So that's good news. I just wanted to leave off
looking
on a
for the
good
fives
news
again. Then we'll be happy.
We're in the fives.
We had it for a moment. One moment of glory.
I thought the whole show was filled with great news, personally.
It's pretty good.
It was. Yeah. The good news is that you have access. This is the best news. You have access to an entire team. These are pros, experts in their field. I say it all the time. You know people that are good at what they do. You know people that are not good at what they do. But you might not realize you have access to people that are great at what they do. A team that works cohesively together. And if you have issues, you're buying a home, selling a home, stuck with a home, Mike just said it, if things go easy, it's easy. But oftentimes there are these hiccups along the road, little hidden things that you don't realize you have to contend with. You need professional guidance, understanding how to navigate these things, maybe even options. That's why I encourage you to go to floridatalkrealestate.com. If you're on Facebook and YouTube, seek it out. If you're already there streaming with us today, thank you. Hit the share and like button when you can, because you can change lives, including your very own, with the pros of floridatalkrealestate.com. Jimothy, thank you for everything always, dude.
Thank you, Johnny. Have a great weekend. Mike, Jim, Ross, always a pleasure to see you guys.
Appreciate you very much. Mike Rao, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. I hope you have a great weekend.
I will. Thank you. You too. Thanks, everybody.
I'll do my best. And thank you. There's Ross Komarinetz, Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. I hope you have an excellent weekend.
Thank you, man. I hope you do too. I'm going to go rock climbing.
That sounds fun.
Lauderdale.
All right.
Excellent. You have strong hands?
Not yet.
You will soon enough.
You haven't seen those huge mountains down at Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, well, there was rock. Just cliffs
Yeah, it's beautiful when you get up there.
Oh, the views.
Yeah.
El Capitan.
Sunset.
Ross is going to have a selfie from the sidewalk.
Yeah, those climber hands, man. That's real.
Yeah,
grip
that's
strength
real
right
deal.
there. Oh my goodness. Jimmy D, going around Climbs for Rocks this weekend?
No, but I might watch the UFC fight, that Ronda Rousey thing. I think I'm going to watch that tonight. I think it's tonight, right? Pretty sure it's tonight. I don't know if it was last night.
I don't know.
Last night, but I think I'm going to watch it.
Tune in anyway.
Yeah,
No,
check it out.
UFC? UFC's Saturday night, I think, right?
Is that tonight then?
Usually.
Yeah. All right. Well, enjoy that, Jimmy D.
I will.
And thanks for everything always. I invite you to stick around and enjoy a sports show. Greeks in the bullpen over here. We're going to squeeze out a little bit of sports for you guys. And remember, Florida Talk Real Estate, 2 hours of infotainment every Saturday. We'll take you 9 till 11. Hit the share and like button, consume away, and thank you for being with us. Florida Talk Real Estate, right here on Real Radio.